What up, gamers? It is that time of the year again. It is my 4th year streaming anniversary. It's been 4 years. Well, technically it was yesterday. It's been 4 years and 1 day since the Little Nightmares 2 stream. Which I believe was on release day. I'm sure it was. 4 years since Little Nightmares 2. Come on, where's Little Nightmares 3 already? I thought it'd be here by now. Sometime this year, probably. Okay. So, what's gonna happen today? If you're new here, I have this fun little tier list where we are going to rank every game that I've played since the last time we did this, a year ago. I have a list. There are 34 games, which is actually the least that I've had so far. So, we're going to blow right through this, right? And we're going to rank them in the order that I played them. Or at least started playing them, not necessarily finished them. For example, the first one we're going to talk about is Alan Wake. Alan Wake is a game that I had a lot of interest in, because Alan Wake 2 came out like a couple years ago or something. Last year, maybe. Well, not last year, like last calendar year, but I mean between 1 and 2 years ago. I think it was 2023. And I did not play it because I had never played the first one, so I figured, hey, I'm going to play Alan Wake, I'm going to play Alan Wake's American Nightmare, I'm going to play Control and all the DLC, and then I'm going to play Alan Wake 2. And then after a couple Alan Wake 1 streams, I was pretty fucking tired of the game, to be honest. Was not having the greatest time. And then pretty recently, I went back to it, like later in the year, months later. And yeah, I was still, I wanted to finish it. I was like, okay, I want to get to Alan Wake 2 already. Fuck American Nightmare. I might not even play Control, whatever. But I want to finish this so I can get to Alan Wake 2. And then I did one stream of it and I was like, oh, I really don't want to go through another 2 hours of this game. I have not enjoyed Alan Wake very much. Yeah, I'm thinking it's gonna end up pretty low on this list. Not sure exactly where. It's not F. It does not deserve F. Does it deserve a C? I mean, I'm going to put it in C for now. I feel like it's going to end up dropping to a D once I start filling more of this out. But we'll see. We'll see. We'll see. Okay. Next. The greatest game ever made. The Coffin of Andy and Lele. So this is a... I don't think it's actually made in RPG Maker, it might be, but it's an RPG Maker like visual novel thing, where you play as, I think you swap between them, right? You play as both Andy and Lele, who are brother and sister, and you're in this world. I don't even know. Because in the first chapter, it's like, okay, you're in like this almost post-apocalyptic, a virus has taken over, and you gotta stay in your apartment, and because danger or whatever, and then it's like, and then chapter 2 seems to just abandon all of that. So, I don't know. But it's a very disturbing it's a very fucked up game. A lot of crazy shit happening. Very gory. Very just. Very. You may have heard of discussions around this game of it being an incest game. That is like the least of the disturbing shit in this game. That part of the game is a dream sequence during a secret ending. Like, that is a nothing part of this game. But there are a lot of crazy shit that happens. Anyway, I really enjoyed it. I couldn't stop thinking about it for a while after I played it. It really made me feel emotions. So I'm gonna put it. Oops. What the fuck is happening? Okay, I need to make sure I'm not moving. What the fuck? Why is this so hard? What is going on? I just want it. Oh my god. I just want to move this. Thank you. Okay, A tier. Incest game goes in A tier. Okay. Next we've got One Shot. And actually I might just chop off the bulk of this logo here and leave the light bulb. So One Shot, I don't know exactly when One Shot came out, but I believe it predates Undertale by quite a bit, but it is a very Undertale-like game. Similar kind of art style, sort of. It is a, kind of quirky RPG thing, but it is not nearly as good as Undertale, I don't think. I definitely enjoyed elements of it. It does get meta, and I think those meta parts are kind of cool, but just not done quite as well as Undertale does it. I hate to just rate it based on comparing it to Undertale, but I mean, the bottom line is, like, overall, I was just kind of bored for most of it. I don't know. I didn't hate it. Didn't love it. I don't know. I'm not sure where to put it. Is it a B or is it a C? If it's a C, then I need to move Alan Wake down to D. You know what? Fuck it. We're doing it. We're doing it. Fuck you. One Shot is C. Alan Wake is D. Pretty negative tier list so far. Okay. Let me make sure I'm doing this in order. Okay, Dead by Daylight. A lot of times if I revisit a game in a year, I don't rate it again. For example, Help Wanted 2 had an update. I'm not including a Help Wanted 2 on this list, because it was just a tiny update, a little teaser thing. But I rate Dead by Daylight every year since I've played it. Because, things change. I kind of fall in and out of the game. The game changes, there's more content, things happen. Last year I put it at S tier, where previously I had put it A tier. I think I'm kind of back to A tier status, where I still really enjoy the game. I just haven't really, I don't know. I guess I did have a couple phases this past year where I really grinded it and was really into it, but I don't know. Maybe it's just because I've gotten really into Marvel Rivals in the past few months, or 2 months, I guess, and that's kind of been my main game lately. And that's why I don't feel as strongly about Dead by Daylight at the moment, but yeah, I don't know. I did start playing Killer more this past year as well, but I'm just not feeling putting Dead by Daylight in S tier today, so it's gonna go in A. Is Indigo Park next? It is. Indigo Park Chapter 1. Indigo Park is a first-person episodic mascot horror game, which there just aren't enough of. I mean, we've got Poppy Playtime, we've got Garden of Banban, we've got, I don't know, Dark Deception, I don't even know if that's... I don't even know if that's still happening, like, continuing, but... yeah, there's a lot, I think, going for Indigo Park. It has a lot of charm. The main character, Rambly's great and everything. When I played it, I kind of just felt like it was a worse Poppy Playtime in a lot of ways. It didn't really have anything... I don't know. It didn't really have anything special, I felt like, other than, I guess, that like the 2D animated character is nifty, but that doesn't like make a huge difference in the experience of the game. It is cool, I like it, but I don't know. I like that it takes place in an amusement park. I want more amusement park horror. Give it to me. Yeah, so I definitely enjoyed it, and I'm definitely looking forward to more. I backed the second chapter on Kickstarter and everything. So, but I wasn't like as high on it as a lot of other people, which is also going to be true about another mascot horror game on this list. I'm putting Indigo Park B tier. Is that too low? No. I don't like it nearly as much as Andy and Lele or Dead by Daylight. And I like it more than One Shot. I think B tier's fine. Okay, I'm once again going to chop off a portion of the logo so that we can rate... Whoops. So that we can rate Bramble, aka Bramble the Mountain King. Bramble is a Little Nightmares-like game where you play as a child in a world of large creatures, and it's a third-person kind of physics-y platformer thing, like Little Nightmares is. And it's like Norse mythology or something. There was a lot of cool stuff about this game. I mean, it's not nearly as good as Little Nightmares or Little Nightmares 2, but like I didn't feel the immediate urge to play it again like I do with Little Nightmares kind of stuff. I'm thinking, I don't know, I don't really have a ton to say about this game. I liked it, but there's a lot of really cool moments and stuff. I enjoyed the story. It also was a little bit of a drag sometimes, though. I don't know, I'm putting it B. B tier. This guy's name is Brambly. Okay. What's next? Okay, so now we're getting into games that I played during the Steam Summer Sale Gameplay Extravaganza, which is a stream that I've been doing every year during or after the Steam Summer Sale, playing a bunch of games that I bought during the Steam Summer Sale. So, I believe Hellpie, Escape Simulator, Convergence, Batman Telltale, Armored Core 6... Is it just those games? Those 5? Did I only play 5 games during this past one? Maybe. Oh, also Gigabash. Which is... Where's Gigabash? Did I forget to put Gigabash on here? Whoops. Wait, where's Gigabash? Okay, well I'm gonna have to find a logo for that. Anyway. Hellpie. Hellpie was suggested to me by Ultimate Portal Master, who you may or may not know, longtime viewer of the stream. And it reminds me a bit of A Hat in Time. It's a 3D platformer. cartoony style, has kind of a dark-ish theme, but not like dark in like a super serious way. Sort of cartoony, dark, gross kind of shit. I don't know. When I started playing it, I wasn't really enjoying it that much, and then as I got further into it, I was like, okay, this is, you know what, this is actually kind of fun. I'm getting into this a bit. That being said, I did not continue playing it after. Ooh, where am I going to put this? Because I don't think I like it as much as Indigo Park or Bramble. But I also feel like I like it more than One Shot. Maybe not. Maybe it's in the same tier as One Shot. I'm going to put Hell Pie in C tier. Even though it feels wrong to put it in the bottom half. Because I did like it. I'm not sure. I'll go with that for now. Okay. Next is Escape Simulator. This is a game that I really like, which probably shouldn't come as a big surprise, considering I do really enjoy survival horror games, which in and of themselves are kind of escape rooms in the way that their levels are designed. You know what I mean? So yeah, Escape Simulator is really cool. If you don't know what it is, it's basically just you play escape rooms. And it's pretty fun. The only thing that's kind of annoying about it is that there's a time limit to the escape rooms, which obviously there are in real life. But it's just kind of frustrating when like the timer ends and then it's like, okay, now I have to restart if I want the game to recognize that I beat it. You know what I mean? It's like, I don't know, it's kind of weird. It's kind of weird like that. But other than that, fun game. I enjoy it. Hell, I might even put it A tier. I'll put it in A tier for now. Fuck it. Why not? Okay. Next is Convergence. Convergence is one of the Riot Forge games, which are games that are in the League of Legends universe that are made by various indie developers. And this one stars the character Echo in a sort of Metroidvania platforming adventure. And I'm not really into Metroidvanias to begin with, so this probably won't come as a surprise. I was not super into this. I don't know, I guess when it comes to platformers, I'm more of a kind of precision platformer. I'm like a Super Meat Boy Mario type, more than a Metroid Castlevania type. Which might seem weird because Metroidvanias in a way have similar level design to survival horror games like Resident Evil and whatever, but I don't know. Yeah, I was not really into this game. I feel pretty good about putting a D tier, to be honest. I didn't really have fun with it. I don't really know that I have specific complaints. It's just not my kind of game. So, yep. Okay, next is Gigabash, which I appear to have forgotten about when I made this list. When I made this tier list. So I need to, real quick, find a logo for Gigabash. I swear I did this already. Maybe I forgot to save it. I don't know. Gigabash. What? Why are there two? I don't know. Gigabash. So Gigabash was a game that I was pretty excited to try out. It is a kaiju fighting game. Like a sort of top-down-ish perspective. third-person kaiju fighting game where you play in a battlefield that's like kind of a big environment, like a city or something, and you fight each other. Reminded me a lot of some games that I used to play on the PS2, like Godzilla games, where you would play as Godzilla or other Godzilla universe monsters and you'd fight each other. So I was interested in playing a kind of a spiritual successor, modern version of that kind of thing. And you know what? It was some fun. There's even Godzilla characters in Gigabash's like licensed DLC. And I played a bit of it, and it was kind of cool, and then I never played any more of it. Just, it didn't really get a huge urge to get back into it. But it's pretty cool nonetheless. I am gonna put it in C. Yeah. Yeah. Okay, next. Batman the Telltale Series. Oops. There we go. Batman the Telltale Series is a game. You guys know what Telltale games are. They're episodic games where they're basically choose your own adventure type things where you are mostly watching a movie play out, but then you make choices, like dialogue choices and stuff that branch the story sometimes. And yeah, I was pretty bored playing this one. I used to like some Telltale games. Obviously, the first Walking Dead was huge when it came out, and I loved it as well. I also played some of The Wolf Among Us. I don't know if I finished it or not. I fell off of Telltale games pretty quickly after, just because, I don't know, after the initial kind of novelty of the Walking Dead game, and Walking Dead being huge at the time, and how good the writing was in that game. I don't know, the Telltale game thing kind of wore off, and I was not as big into them after that. And I was just bored playing this one. I was gonna play the whole first episode on the stream where I played this. And I played it for like half an hour maybe, I don't know, not even. Because I was like, wow, this is boring. Boring as hell. I mean, I can't give it an F tier, right? That'd be crazy. But what would I give an F tier to? We can't go the whole stream not giving anything F tier, right? That'd be ridiculous. Okay, I'm going to just throw Batman an F tier for now. You know, we'll see if it stays there. I don't know. Okay. Armored Core 6. This is a game. I remember when this game was revealed at the Game Awards. I was so hyped. The trailer was so cool. I had no idea what the fuck Armored Core was. I had never heard of it in my life. But I was like, hell yeah, mech shit. Looks awesome. This is actually what got me to first watch Neon Genesis Evangelion, because I was to finally watch it. I had been wanting to watch it for a while, but I was like, man, I just want to see mech shit, you know? Because mech shit is cool. And when I finally got this game and played it, or played the first like level of it, I suppose, like the introductory level, man, was it hard as balls. Holy crap. The first boss, I'm like, is this... Oh my god, it took so long to beat the first boss. And I was like, holy shit, is it... It only gets harder from here, presumably? Jesus. I think it's a cool game. I just didn't want to put myself through any more of it, frankly. But it's not because I don't think it's good or anything. It's just, yeah. I think I've got to put it B tier, probably. I think that makes sense. I didn't play it enough or have strong enough feelings on it to put it like A or S, but I do have positive feelings about it overall, so I think B is a good place for it. Cool. Okay. The joy of creation. This is specifically for the demo of the new one. If you're unfamiliar, The Joy of Creation was originally a FNAF, well, it's still a FNAF fan game, but it was originally a pretty simple FNAF fan game. Not really that much special about it. You were in a house, and it had pretty standard FNAF gameplay. And then there was The Joy of Creation Reborn, which was kind of a collection of these like free roam levels. It was a fully like 3D game where you would try to escape animatronics while doing tasks like collecting stuff, whatever. And it gained a lot of popularity from that because it was like, whoa, FNAF in like these fully 3D explorable environments was really cool. The animation was really good. And then the Joy of Creation story mode came out, which was sort of a mix of the two previous iterations, where it had 5 levels. Each level was different, and they were kind of free roam, but free roam in very limited space, and otherwise had pretty standard FNAF gameplay. And was also pretty convoluted, especially the first level. My god, the first level is by far the worst level. It's ridiculous. Anyway, this is too much backstory. This version, the version that we played the demo for in the past year, appears to be a remake of story mode, but with like more free roam elements, maybe. Anyway, it was really good. I liked it. It could be it could be kind of confusing because the game does not communicate very much to you, because the developer refuses to put any sort of on-screen UI at all. Which, I kind of respect it, also kind of don't. It's kind of fucking annoying. And I don't think on-screen UI is as immersion-breaking as they like to pretend. But still, overall, this was a really cool demo. I feel pretty good about putting it 8 B tier? B tier. I'm gonna put it in B tier for now. Man, my throat is already... How much Tarkin? Excuse me. Okay. Now it's time for another FNAF demo. 5 Laps at Freddy's. This game is an official FNAF game created by Click Team. Now, if you do not know what Click Team is the engine, the 2D game engine, where Scott made the original FNAF games. This game is a fully 3D racing game made in Unreal Engine. Why Click Team, the team behind the game engine, is making a game in Unreal, I don't know. Whatever. It is what it is. It's a meme. It's goofy, it's silly, it kind of sucks, but nobody cares because it's fucking 5 Laps at Freddy's. What, did you expect it to be good? No. It is what it is, and Hopefully it doesn't cost more than $5 when it comes out. And D tier. So this was all during the FNAF week, like FNAF 10th anniversary celebrations that happened this past year, which capped off with the release of Five Nights at Freddy's Into the Pit, a video game by Mega Cat Studios adapting the short story of the same name. Pretty good. Very polished. Very different. A lot of really interesting stuff. So this was a like pixelated style, not pixelated like FNAF Atari minigame. This was like really, really good looking pixel art. And it was like a 2D kind of stealth game / puzzle game. It was pretty cool. It wasn't like revolutionary, but it felt like the highest quality thing that we've gotten out of FNAF in a long time. I can definitely see why some people would even consider it their favorite FNAF game. I'm not one of them. I do think it's good. I did really enjoy it. Not quite feeling that strongly about it, but yeah. Overall, pretty cool game. I look forward to playing whatever Mega Cat Studios makes next. I feel like they probably are going to make another FNAF game. I know Scott is interested in them doing that, so hopefully this made enough money for Mega Cat Studios where they're like, oh, fuck yeah, we'll make more we'll make more FNAF game for you, pal. Buddy Scott. Let me chop this off. Okay. As for where it's going, B. I'm thinking B. That's what I'm thinking. Yeah. Nothing in S yet. Nothing in S. Okay, we're like a third through our list here at this point. Actually, we're almost half. Alright, we're going to switch gears a little bit to a non-FNAF game, but rather a game in another beloved franchise on this stream. The Casting of Frank Stone. If you're not familiar, The Casting of Frank Stone is a game made by the Until Dawn developers. Until Dawn, similar to a Telltale game like Batman the Telltale series, is a kind of... It's a choice game. It's a choose-your-own-adventure choice game. I would say that the Until Dawn... What is the studio name called? Supermassive. Supermassive Games? Yeah, they're actually the ones that are making Little Nightmares 3. So we'll see how that goes, but yeah, I think their games are a little bit more gameplay focused compared to Telltale. Because there is a lot of like actual walking around, interacting with stuff in the environment. It's not just making choices the whole time. A lot of people were really down on this game. I think it's better than most people give it credit for. It didn't have an incredible story, but I think I'm kind of of two minds about it. As a Dead by Daylight fan, it wasn't what I wanted out of a DBD Supermassive game. I was hoping to get a game about characters that we already know of from Dead by Daylight. Instead, they give us a game with all original characters. And it's like, hey, trust me, this takes place in the Dead by Daylight universe, I guess. So that was disappointing. But then when you play the game, you begin to understand the importance of it taking place in the Dead by Daylight universe. Because the entity plays a role in the story, the ways in which the villains kind of are positioned in the story, and how that kind of fits into the world of Dead by Daylight, I thought was really interesting and cool. I liked this game, I think, more than most people did. Am I about to put another game in B tier? Because I can't put it in A tier. Because it's still not like my kind of game, these like choice games. I'm gonna put it B tier. Let me take a sip of my water here. Okay. Next we have a few games from a 3 Random Horror Games stream I did. We played the demo for We Harvest Shadows. We played Flathead and Graveyard Shift at Freddy's. We're gonna, of course, start with the first one here, We Harvest Shadows. This is a farming sim horror game. It is a game where you manage a farm and you have to make money with your farm and stuff and build out your farm and do farm things. But also it's a horror game where there are monsters and mysteries and weird shit happening, and it was pretty cool. I thought it was pretty neat. I will very likely, I don't even know when this game is supposed to come out. I am definitely interested in checking out the full game when it comes out. I thought it was cool. B tier. This is tough. I'm putting everything in B tier. Not everything can be B tier. I think I need to be more willing to put stuff in C tier, because in my mind, C is like, it's in the bottom half, so it's only games that I have negative feelings towards. But like, that's not really true. Casting of Frank Stone. C tier. Yep. We Harvest Shadows. A tier. Yep. Yep. Okay. Flathead was a game that became pretty popular among Let's Players a little bit after Buckshot Roulette, because it's kind of a similar type of game where you're playing a deadly high stakes game of chance. You know, kind of in the same vein as Buckshot Roulette or, you know, 21 DLC or Inscription, I guess, to an extent. I didn't really care for this one. I don't know. I guess unlike the 21 DLC, and obviously Inscription, and also Buckshot Roulette, didn't feel like there was a lot of strategy that you could do with this one. Really just felt like a game of chance, which just wasn't interesting. I didn't care for it. This might even be an F tier for me, honestly. I'm thinking about that. Yeah, fuck it. That game was dumb. Alright, Graveyard Shift at Freddy's. This is a FNAF fan game like every other FNAF fan game. Has a kind of distinctly dark and disturbing style to it, which was cool. Has some animations which are cool. Other than that, it didn't like blow me away, I guess. I don't know. I really didn't. It was hard, is another thing. I didn't really have much of a desire to continue it after the stream. But it's not bad. Like, it's well made, is the thing. So I feel bad putting it in a lower tier. But I don't know, if someone was like, hey, should I play this? Like, you can, I guess. Whatever. I'm press C tier. Yeah. So I guess out of the three games I played during that 3 random horror games, We Harvest Shadows is my favorite. Okay. We're about to have another hot take. Still Wakes the Deep is mid. Mid as fuck. People have had conversations about this game asking if it is the scariest horror game. Like, of the year or whatever. It is not scary. I'm sorry. I don't know. Listen, I get it. I've played a decent amount of horror games the past few years since I started streaming. And I've gotten a little bit more resistant to the scariness. But I still get scared by games. It happens. This one didn't do it. I don't know. I enjoyed the story for what it was. And that's about it. The gameplay wasn't much. It looked really good. There were some cool elements of it, for sure. But I don't know. This game did not do it for me as much as it did for a lot of people. It just didn't hit as strong with me. Even though I do think it is good. I do think it's well made. I think it's overrated, is really, at the end of the day, what I'm saying. I think it's overrated. But I still think it's good. C tier. Now C tier is getting crowded. I don't know. Okay. Now for the actual best horror game of the year. Arguably. The Silent Hill 2 remake. Holy shit, this game rules. Silent Hill 2, the original, is a horror game classic, widely considered by many to be the greatest horror game of all time. And Bloober Team developed the remake. Now, I have generally positive feelings about Bloober Team. They made Layers of Fear, which I really love. They made Observer, which I really love. They also made Layers of Fear 2 and Blair Witch, which I love much less. Especially Blair Witch. Holy shit, that game is garbage. But I was optimistic about this because I still do have faith in Bloober Team. Yeah. They also made The Medium, which I thought was decent. Anyway, the Silent Hill 2 remake is a masterpiece, and it's even better than the original. And fuck you, S tier. They accomplished what the Resident Evil remakes accomplished. They just made the game better in every way and modernized it in ways that did not sacrifice, in my opinion, did not sacrifice the intent of the original. Because there's a lot of people who'd be like, oh, but there's no fixed camera angles. Fuck you, you're stupid. Fixed camera angles don't fucking matter, okay? You just have nostalgia glasses for the fixed camera angles. They didn't do anything to serve the game. You're coping, okay? That is that is my stance on that. Silent Hill 2 remake is amazing. Angela is my favorite character ever. Love her to death. Amazing game. The combat was really fun too, which I think was the biggest fear a lot of people had, or at least one of the biggest fears people had going into the Silent Hill 2 remake was like, Bloober Team hasn't really done combat in their games. How are they going to handle it in Silent Hill 2? The answer is really fucking well, apparently. And another concern people had with Silent Hill 2 was that Bloober Team was not going to be able to handle the serious subject matter with subtlety because they are not known for subtlety based on their previous games. And I think they did it a hell of a lot better than the original does. The original has extremely cheesy dialogue that I feel completely undermines the seriousness of the subject matter of the story. I know that there's a lot of people who think that the cheesy dialogue was intentional, and I think that is, once again, coping so hard. Yeah. Okay, that's my Silent Hill 2 remake rant. Amazing game, S tier. Probably my favorite game of the year. Alright. Now for another sequel, I guess. Silent Hill 2 is not even really a sequel, even though it has a 2 at the end. Amanda the Adventurer 2. I really liked Amanda the Adventurer 1. It was essentially an escape room, sort of at its core, which, as those words leave my mouth, I realize that that's not even the main draw of the game. The main draw of the game is the VHS tapes. So if you don't know, Amanda the Adventurer is a game where you watch these VHS tapes of this kids show, obviously a parody of Dora the Explorer. And there's you have to solve puzzles based on what's in the tapes. And there's a whole mystery, mascot horror, missing children lore stuff happening, whatever. But I thought the first one was really fun. The main complaint I had about the first one is that I thought the puzzles were way too easy. Like, the puzzles weren't even puzzles. Like, you would literally see the letters, like, BDM on, like, a sign, and then you'd go over to the place where you put letters, and you would put in BDM, and then it would unlock. Oh my god. Big brain puzzle solving. Like, that was the first game. This game severely overcompensated for the difficulty with the puzzles. It was far too much. Especially since the game opens with easily the hardest puzzle in the game. One that I don't think anybody actually knows how to solve. Every single Let's Play I've watched of this game, including when I played it, literally did not understand how the initial puzzle was supposed to work and was told it or looked it up. They actually changed the puzzle in an update, so I don't know what the new one is like exactly. Supposedly easier. But holy shit, what a bad way to start the game. I feel like it's an Amanda the Adventurer game. You gotta just start out with a VHS tape, right? Okay. Ooh. So, I've already talked some shit about this game. Still, I still liked it. Even though a lot of the puzzles were really convoluted and I did have to look things up multiple times. I still enjoyed it because it's an Amanda the Adventurer game. It's just fun. It's just a fun vibe. I don't know how to explain it. Fuck you. A tier. This is my list. I can do whatever I want. A tier. Okay. Is this the next one? No, it is not. Go away, Resident Evil HD Remaster. We've got to talk about Finding Frankie. This is a very similar category as Indigo Park for me. It is a, in my opinion, very overrated mascot horror game. At least this one has more of a unique thing going on. So the gimmick of this one is that it is a mascot horror game that takes place in a parkour park. like a trampoline park, but also there's like a water park in it, and it's a bunch of like parkour courses. It's a parkour game slash mascot horror game. That's what makes this one special. It's got Squid Game vibes because the lore, I don't know. I don't know. Someone's taken it over and like turned it into a game show, and it's like Squid Game where people die on it. I don't know. I'm not going to pretend like I fully understand the lore of Finding Frankie, but I wasn't really that into this one for the most part. I don't know. I think it kind of fell into a lot of the traps the mascot horror tends to, where I don't know, there were just some segments that were really not fun. Most of the game, really. There were also some segments that were really cool. The ending section is awesome. I really like the ending section. I don't know, I'm trying to kind of figure out my general feelings on the game, because there were some parts I really liked, some parts I really didn't. Overall, I felt like it was overrated. I don't know where to put it. I'm kind of feeling a C tier. Move some stuff around here. Sure. I think C tier makes sense for Finding Frankie. Okay, what's next? Okay. Observation Duty 7. I've been playing Observation Duty since the first one. I really love these games. I think they're a ton of fun. 7 is no exception. 7 is the hardest one I've played, I would say. This is this one I played a lot of on stream, whereas previous ones I played off stream as well. And playing on stream is a fun experience because people who are watching can play along and like contribute. I mean, I think this is an easy A tier. I think you could even make an argument for S tier, but I'm not gonna go there. I'm gonna put it A tier, I think. Oh, is Man of the Adventure 2 A tier or is it B tier? Fuck, I think it's B tier. Ah, shit, I think it might be B tier. Fuck, it's B tier. God damn it. B tier. Shit. Okay. Okay, now we go to the Resident Evil HD Remaster. I think every Resident Evil game I've played on the channel, other than the Resident Evil 3 remake, I've put S tier. Resident Evil 7 was the first one I played. That game is phenomenal. As is the RE2 remake. The RE2 remake is one of my favorite games ever. I actually 100%ed it sometime last year. RE3 was a bit of a step down. I don't think it's bad at all, but definitely a step down. RE Village is great. RE4 remake is great. So where does Resident Evil HD Remaster fit in? This is the oldest Resident Evil that I've played. I have only played the modern, like everything since RE7. Whereas this came out, I don't even know. This is the remaster of the 2002 remake. Was this like an Xbox... Oh, I think this was like 2013. I think this was like an Xbox One PS4 era game, if I'm not mistaken. I think. Anyway, you know, at its core, it's a Resident Evil game. This one does have fixed camera angles, which I personally don't like very much. Thankfully, it does not have tank controls. That would suck. But it does have fixed camera angles. It does have... It is kind of lacking quality of life stuff that the modern ones do. This one has ink ribbons even on like standard difficulty, whereas the modern ones will only have limited saves on like hardcore difficulty. The ink ribbon's just a standard mechanic of the game in this one. Which I don't love. I don't love that. I think it is enough for a mascot horror game. I think it is enough for a survival horror game to have limited save locations. I don't think you need a number of limited saves. I don't think it's necessary at all. That's my take on that, but yeah. So overall, I really enjoyed it. There are some things that annoyed me about it. A tier. A tier. Hey, when are we gonna get Resident Evil 9 news already? It's been about 3 years now since Village came out. I guess it's only been like, wait, 3 years? 4 years. It's been 4 years since Village and a couple of years since RE4. Okay. Here's a big one. Mouthwashing. Everyone loves mouthwashing. Mouthwashing is an indie psychological horror game. You may have remembered a game that I played, I think last year, or the year before, called How Fish Are Made. This is made by the same developer. It is a huge step up from How Fish Are Made. Not that How Fish Are Made was a bad game, but it was just kind of a one-off, still silly little thing, right? Mouthwashing is just incredible. It is stylish. The characters are... I mean, you can't go on the fucking internet without seeing fan art of the characters, especially Anya. Characters are great. Story's great. Presentation's great. Gameplay is great. There's maybe one part that's kind of annoying. There's one level where it feels like it like remembers that it's an indie horror game for a second and puts you into this like don't die to the monster in a maze scenarios. But even that section is done pretty uniquely in a couple ways. So I'm not even gonna dock points off for it really. This game's great, love it. I think it deserves S tier for sure. I don't think I could give it anything less than S tier, so yep. Great game. I won't go too much deep into what the story actually is. If you haven't played it, you should play it. 100%. It's great. Okay. So I know I said that a lot of people were saying Still Wakes the Deep was really scary. And I don't agree. Let me tell you what game really scared me. What game really just made me shit my pants. Piglet's Big Game. This game became a meme sometime in the past year for being like a kid's survival horror game. And there are parts of it that kind of are. There's a couple levels that are kind of spooky themed. And the gameplay is not unlike a lot of survival horror games where it's like inventory puzzles. So yeah, the first stream, I did 2 streams. The first stream I did, I was like, okay, this is like surprisingly fun. I'm like kind of enjoying this. And then the second stream, I was like, I should have stopped at the first stream. I'm so bored right now. I couldn't wait for this game to be over. So where do I even rank that? I feel like it's just wrong to put it in D tier. Like, it's Piglet's big game. What the fuck did I expect? Did I really expect an extremely engaging survival horror experience? Maybe a little. I, it's D tier, whatever. Okay, so now we're getting into some of the Chillizart games. If you're not familiar with Chillizart, they are, I believe they're actually a Japanese developer that make Japanese themed horror games. Like, most of them are like 2 hours max length indie horror games that are kind of retro stylized, similar to puppet combo games, if you're familiar with those. Yeah, so the first one we played was Parasocial, which is one of the more recent ones, and maybe one that you've seen a lot of other streamers play. It is about a streamer that gets stalked, and then other things happen. Enjoyable game. I thought it was pretty cool. It's not like a mind-blowing masterpiece or anything, but I thought it was a good time. Where do I put this? I feel like all of the Chillizart games are going to go in a similar tier. Because what these games are to me is they're not particularly scary, although they can have some like jump scare moments. They are kind of like B horror movie type of fun. They're just goofy, and they're fun, and they're short and sweet, and that's what I love about them. They don't have like amazing stories. They're not particularly profound or even that scary, like I said, but they're goofy and they're fun. And I'm trying to think where I want to put them. Because I feel like I'm giving all of them the same tier, right? So that's Parasocial, The Kidnap, and Closing Shift. They are buggy. I will say that. I had a thing with Parasocial where I accidentally went back in time. I like clicked through an elevator and then ended up in a place of the map I wasn't supposed to, and then entered part of the game that was before where I had progressed to. I accidentally lost progress from a bug. That was pretty annoying. And then I think I encountered even more game-breaking bugs in the Kidnap or Closing Shift. One of those two. They kind of blend together a little bit, if I'm being honest. I think they deserve B tier. I think Parasocial's B tier. I think The Kidnap is probably my least favorite of them. Actually, maybe not. Maybe not, actually. Okay. What's next? Voices of the Void. Okay, this game was interesting. This is an open world, like, survival crafting game that kind of elicits nostalgia for, like, Source Engine games. Definitely has a vibe. I have not continued playing it since the stream, but I think I would be interested. I don't know. It's a game that I felt like was very full of mystery and had a lot to explore, but was also pretty hardcore and unforgiving in a lot of ways. Yeah, it's kind of a difficult one to evaluate because I feel like I barely scratched the surface of it. God, I want to put in B. But I've put so much in B already. I might have to start spreading these out a bit. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I feel like some of this stuff has to be moved. Does Incest Game deserve a bump to S tier? Silent Hill 2 mouthwashing and the Coffin of Andy and Lele? No. I think Coffin of Andy and Lele gets points docked just for being a visual novel and requiring me to read so goddamn much. Do I want to split up the Chillozart games? Do they all deserve B tier? I think they do. Does Amanda the Adventurer need a bump down to C? No, I don't want to do that. Honestly, maybe We Harvest Shadows goes down a tier. That's kind of what I'm feeling. Yeah. That's, I think, what I want to do. And then somehow we squeeze Voices of the Void. Okay, hold on a second. Gotta do some Photoshop things. Merge these layers. There we go. Voices of the Void, B tier. Or is it C tier? Fuck. It might be C tier. It's C tier. Fuck it. It's C tier. Okay, anyway. What's next? Crow Country. Crow Country, very clearly inspired by classic survival horror games, does not have fixed camera angles, but instead has kind of a top-down view where you can spin the camera around, which is neat. This was a pretty cool game. I definitely felt lost with this game a lot of the time. Sometimes that happens in survival horror games. The story was good. I liked the style. Yeah. I wasn't, like, so blown away. I did have an urge to play it again, but also didn't feel like I had much of a reason to. Just because, I don't know, I think the Resident Evil games do a good job of giving you replay value, and Crow Country doesn't as much, which I don't want to knock a game too much for not having replay value, because not every game needs to have replay value. Not every game needs to be played a dozen times. It is okay for a game to be played once, as long as that is a good experience. I'm putting it A tier. I think putting it alongside the Resident Evil HD remaster is good. Okay. Got two more left. We got Night Manor. So this is one of the games in UFO 50. If you're not familiar with UFO 50, it is a game that is a collection of 50 games of various retro styles. In the universe of the game, it's like a fictional game company that all these games were made by, and there's like lore or something. I don't know anything about that. I only played Night Manor in the collection, and it is a very classic point and click horror adventure game. Point and click puzzle adventure horror game. It was pretty cool. It was very easy to die, but also the stakes were pretty low. Like, it just kind of brought you back to the same room, and it was like, okay, well, now I just go back to what I was doing. It's not like you lose a lot of progress when you die or anything. Yeah, I mean, it was pretty solid. I enjoyed it for what it was. Not a transcendent experience, but pretty cool to play a game that felt very true to like old horror games like that, but also have kind of some modern sensibilities to it. I don't know where I want to put it. Thinking B. Okay. This little guy is Doughy the Dough Man. He is from Poppy Playtime Chapter 4. Now, I have been a defender of Poppy Playtime since the beginning. When the first chapter dropped for $5, I thought it was a lot of fun. I think a lot of people were turned off by it because it was a mascot horror game that I guess to a lot of people felt very samey to other mascot horror games. And they also had merch immediately. It was very like, I guess to a lot of people it felt very business first. game second. I don't know. I never really was bothered by the pushing of the merch, especially in the case of Poppy Playtime, because in my opinion, Poppy Playtime, what mattered is that it was a quality game, and I feel like it was a quality game. It could be a bit buggy, but I still thought it was good. Same with Chapter 2. I enjoyed Chapter 2. Chapter 3 really stepped it up. Chapter 3 was really good. I think we gave Chapter 3 an A tier last year. Not perfect. It had its issues. It had its bugs. But overall felt like horror and atmosphere-wise and gameplay-wise, big step up from Chapter 2. But Chapter 3 took a long time to come out. I think it was like 2 years? I want to say it was 2 years between Chapter 2 and 3. Am I wrong about that? Maybe like a year and a half? I don't know. But it was worth it because it was good. It was really fun. And I was concerned about this chapter because it had a shorter development cycle. This one came, I think, just a little bit less than a year after Chapter 3. And when they were putting out teasers and trailers for the game, at first it seemed like they didn't really have a good direction. Because they were teasing the nightmare critters, and it was like, oh, is this just going to be a worse Chapter 3? And then they teased, like, other monsters, and it's like, okay, so, like, what's the focus here? Like, are they just changing shit? Like, what's happening? And then it actually came out, and we played it very recently. It came out very recently. And I was pleasantly surprised. I think I still have some issues with it, particularly with Yarnaby's section, which I believe they've made easier since I've played it, with patches and whatnot. Yarnaby's section was pretty annoying. But overall, I felt like it was really good. There were some bugs. None of it ruined the experience. I don't know. Yeah. Overall, I feel pretty positively about this chapter, which I'm happy about because I definitely had my concerns. I will say I don't think it ended as strongly as Chapter 3. I think Chapter 3 had a very strong ending. This one, not as sure about. But I'm still I'm still absolutely looking forward to Chapter 5 and where it goes and everything. And this guy was great. Loved Doey. Doey was awesome. I think I'm going to put Poppy Playtime Chapter 4 in A tier. Yep. Okay. So. Here we are. Here's our tier list right now. Oh. Did my stream freeze? Is the stream frozen? Can you hear me right now? I think you can. I don't know. The audio... Hold on. I think you can. Okay, you can. Good. For some reason, OBS, my levels are like frozen. I don't know what's going on there. Can. Good. For some reason, OBS... Okay. Sorry, I'm just looking at the stream to make sure it's all good. Anyway, looks fine now. This is the tier list. Let's see if we want to move anything. So, S tier. Silent Hill 2 and Mouthwashing. Both of those absolutely deserve to be there. Does The Coffin of Annie Lele deserve S tier? It's currently an A tier. I think no, because it is a visual novel. And I would like it more if it had more gameplay, I think. Like puzzles or something. Dead by Daylight. Still love the game, not as high on it as previous years. A tier is fine. Escape Simulator, I think is cool, not S tier worthy. Original Resident Evil could be S tier. I think you can make an argument for S tier. I don't feel S tier about it. Observation Duty 7 is really fucking fun. S tier, putting in S tier is tempting, but I still don't think I'm going to do it. Popular Time Chapter 4, I like. I could even see... I think you can make arguments for Escape Simulator and Poppy Chapter 4 being in B. I don't know, I think my decision on the tiers is partially influenced by how much I like to compare to other people. Like, is Escape Simulator better than Bramble? Or Armored Core 6? I think I just personally have more positive feelings. I would say I'm more likely to recommend Escape Simulator. I don't know. I think you could argue that not Indigo Park, Joy of Creation should be C. F, we have Batman Telltale Series and Flathead. Seeing if I want to move anything. Well, I do want to move some stuff just to make it look a little prettier here. Let's hold on. Let's. Sure. I think I'm happy with these rankings. Oh, I'm kind of tempted to put Alan Wake in F tier, though. Oh, I'm not gonna lie. Awfully tempting. Awfully tempting. I won't do it, though. I won't do it. It's also awfully tempting to put Coffin of Annie and Layla in S tier. Because I do really like it. Just a lot of reading, though. That'd be really funny if I put it next to Silent Hill 2 and Mouthwashing, though. That'd be so funny. Be so funny. Nah, if anything, there's not enough incest. I think there should be more incest. If the developer wants me to put it in S tier next year, they need to have even more incest. To crank up the incest for me in episode 3. That's another thing. Only the first 2 episodes of this game are out. Um, it's been almost a year since I played this. I played it on Valentine's Day last year, and it's 3 days until Valentine's Day now. Hurry up with Chapter 3 already, come on. I'm anxiously awaiting it. Okay. Alright, I think this is it. I think this is our tier list. This is every game I've played on stream in the past year. Ranked on a tier list. To recap, let's go through it one more time. Starting with the bottom. In F tier, Batman the Telltale series, Flathead. In D tier, Alan Wake, Convergence, 5 Laps at Freddy's. In C tier, One Shot, Hell Pie, Gigabash, Casting of Frank Stone, Graveyard Shift at Freddy's, Still Wakes the Deep, We Harvest Shadows, Voices of the Void, Finding Frankie. In B tier, Indigo Park, Bramble the Mountain King, Armored Core 6, Into the Pit, Joy of Creation demo, Parasocial, The Closing Shift, The Kidnap, A Matter of the Adventure 2, Night Manor. A tier, Coffin of Andy and Lele, Dead by Daylight, Escape Simulator, I'm on Observation Duty 7, Resident Evil HD Remaster, Poppy Playtime Chapter 4, Crow Country. And in S tier, Silent Hill 2, Remake, and Mouthwashing. Cool. What do you think of this list? Let me know in the comments below. What would you change? Do you think Flathead is A tier? Or do you think that Coffin of Andy and Lele is D tier? Well, fuck you, you're wrong.